Ayesha Curry of Steph Curry fame, who was also of Golden State Warrior fame. She was on a podcast recently, and she was going through her speech about how Steph was not her type. And this is a part of many women's origin stories, like Batman's origin story, Spider-Man. The he was not my type and I gave him a chance, and here we are. That they did have to go through that. You're like, you know what? He wasn't my type, but now he grew on me. So I'm really curious as to why do women have to include that in their origin story that he grew on me. He wasn't my type. Yeah, I don't know if that validates the beginning of the relationship, but I've seen this happen for a lot of different women in media and in my own personal life. So I'm wanting to know, ladies or even gentlemen, why do you guys think this is always included in how a relationship came about? The women having the tendency to do this. What do you guys think?
Well, as the only woman on the panel, let me go ahead and jump in on that one. So first, I want to answer the question. I think it's because when someone starts with "they're not my type," so first, in Ayesha Curry case, she stated that she's known him since they were young, and so your type in high school is not somebody who may be your type when you're 40. And so for her to say he was not my type is because in high school he probably wasn't. Just like in a lot of women origin stories, that person probably wasn't their type. But I think this shows growth and evolvement for recognizing that, hey, he may not be my type, but maybe he could be. Or maybe I should give him a chance because maybe my type, because men always saying choose better for those who are out of high school but grown now. Men are always saying choose better. Well, maybe choosing better means not choosing what's traditionally my type. Maybe choosing better means let me step outside my comfort zone and go with a brother who I would have never looked at in the first place. And so I think when they include that in the origin story is to say, hey, I gave him a chance because he wasn't what I was used to. Like I said, in her case, I think she should get a it's so hard for me with her because after hearing some of the other things that she said, I was like, Lord have mercy. She out here embarrassing this man. But then I realized once again, she was talking about in high school that wasn't the type. I actually think it shows some growth and evolvement on her part that she got with him, regardless of him being her type. I don't think women need to include that in their origin story, but they may feel like it might be something romantic, like, oh, he wasn't my type, but I just gave him a chance. And look where we are 20 years later, 30 years later, 10, 6 years later, whatever the case may be. Look where we are because they're trying to encourage other women to say, hey, give somebody who's not your type a chance.
There is a pattern of women who pick a guy who's not their type. On one hand, it's a story of hope, of romance, right? It's the guy gets the girl after all. On the other hand, it's a poison pill, right? Because it has guys chasing women who really aren't interested in them, thinking they're going to convince this woman that you are her type. No, you're not going to do it, bro. If she don't like you from jump, she's probably not going to like you 30 days from now. She is going to realize what you're useful for and realize how to get in them pockets. You know what I'm saying? So she might keep you around. But if she wasn't feeling you at first, it's not very often that they start to feel you later. Now, I will say, sometimes not my type. I think S&M alluded to this. Looks kind of like I wouldn't normally date this guy, but I'm going to try something different. That's a different story. But understand that still means that there was an attraction at first, right? You didn't have to convince her you were worth a shot, right? Because dudes don't really glow up. We are who we are. If a man has a glow up, it's because his pay went up and now he can afford better. It's a poison pill for the purpose of suggesting to men they should chase women that aren't really interested, which I think is a bad idea. And because it does kind of hit a man's ego, but not because of the reason people think. I think people think it's because it's like he wasn't good enough at first. It was this and this and that. I think it's a low-key dig to say, I made this man. Because she's still with him, right? So does that mean she shaped him into the thing that she wanted? You know what I'm saying? Does it mean that somehow he wasn't good enough when she got there? I think it deserves further clarification. If a woman's going to say he wasn't my type, she needs to follow up and say, you know what? He wasn't what I wanted, but he was what I needed, right? That clarifies. Leaving it out there like she did is low-key disrespectful because she didn't cover him. Not that it's her job to be a covering, but if you're going to open your mouth, please say something to edify your man.